Yeah, hello guys. In this video, we're gonna discuss how we can create PSM web connectors in CyberArk so that you can launch the web application through CyberArk successfully. So basically, this video is divided into two parts. First one is the prerequisite and prerequisite part, and the next one is the demo on GitHub application. So I will explain how to create a web application through CyberArk. Okay. So let's start the video. So yeah. So, so for creating web applications, web application connector and launching it through CyberArk, there are certain prerequisites you need to install and configure in the PSM server so that you can successfully launch the PSM web application through PSM, right? So one of those prerequisites are a browser. So you need to install any of the supported browser in the PSM server. It should be either Chrome or Edge, and WebDriver for that browser. So if you have installed Chrome, you need to download the Chrome driver. If it's Edge, you need to install the MSH WebDriver. So of the same version as the browser. So or the stable version, more the latest one. So you need to download it and place it in the components folder of the PSM server. And the next thing you need is a secure web application connector framework. So you can download it from the marketplace and extract the content of that zip file you get it from the marketplace and place it in the components folder so that you can launch successfully web applications through CyberArk. So these are the main three prerequisites. Coming to configuration part, it's just installing the browser and installing the driver and placing it in the components folder and installing that placing that web application connector framework in the components folder of the PSM. And the next thing is you need to whitelist the edge path and you need to whitelist the driver path in the PSM configure app locker XML file so that your browser or web driver will not be blocked from executing in the PSM while you're launching the web application. Okay, so that you need to ensure so that your web application will successfully launch. Okay, so and just going to just before going to the next demo of configuring and creating a GitHub web application connector, I just wanted to just give some brief how this web application is running, how it is connecting in background. So it just basically it's built on top of Selenium framework. Basically, the driver which is interacting with the web page and automating the this login sequence using the Selenium Selenium framework. So it just do what human normally do, but it automates the actions same as human. So it's interacting with interacting with the web page and interacting with the elements, and it is just doing the same how we do. Okay, so that's how it works in basically in background. So next we'll go and create the web connector from the PWA and launch it. Okay, so for this we are choosing GitHub as a web application, so our target application. So and one thing to note, our GitHub application is configured with MFA. So one thing you learn more in this video is how to configure MFA based application through PSM. Okay, so as our GitHub target application is configured with an MFA, you're gonna learn how to configure applications, PSM web applications with TOTP based. Okay, so yeah, without late we can just deep dive into our demo. Yeah, we can start. So now we are on the PWA page. So what we can do is so now I am on the PWA page. So let's start creating the web application for connector for the GitHub. So before you start create, so you need to get some info from the target web application, that are the element IDs. So HTML element IDs. So how to grab that, I will let you know. So let us launch the target web application page from my machine. So with I'll let you know how to configure. Yeah, now we are on the target application. That is our GitHub. So the login page. So this will be our login URL. Okay. So this will be our login URL. So first copy and have a login. This I'll copy it into the notepad. So this is our login URL. So you can note it here. Okay. So now I'll just go to here and see, if you see this is the username field and password field and button you need to press, right? So you need to grab the element HTML element IDs for this elements, right? So how you can do is just right click on this element and click on the inspect button, right? So you can click on the inspect button, developer tools will launch. So just click on the first icon, this inspect icon. So just click on it and place the cursor on the username field. Okay, so you just click on it and place the cursor on the username field, so that element will be highlighted, and just right click on this and click on copy and copy XPath. So what there is a specific reason why I'm using XPath is that, so it is recommended to use the XPath, prefer XPath than other ID name text, because in most cases XPath is more reliable and it is more detectable than the ID or name. Okay, so there is no harm in using ID or name. So but what I prefer is using the XPath, which is more reliable. Okay, so I'm using the XPath. How to copy XPath is just right click on that element, copy and copy XPath. Okay, so now I'll just paste it in my notepad. So for XPath you will have the square brackets. So for the PSM to identify and parse this element correctly, you just need to escape this square bracket. So how to explain, you just put this symbol in front of the square brackets. Okay, every square bracket. So this is only just copying elements. I will tell other configurations later. Okay, and copy the element ID for the next element. Just click on the inspect icon, place the cursor on the password icon, just right click copy and copy the XPath. Okay, paste it. So again, what I need to do is, next thing is button, right? Button, copy, copy XPath. Okay, this button is completed. So as you see here, you just see username and password and web button. But as I said in at start of the video, there is MFA is configured, so you need to enter the OTP for that, right? So yeah, we need to configure that. So that element also counts, right? So let me do, what I can do is, yeah, so let me try the manual login so that we can know the sequence how it is how it's being executed. Next one is, see if it is asking for the authentication code, right? So my authenticator is configured with the authentication, right? So yeah, this is the element where PSM need to enter the code. So we need to copy that this element as well, right? So what we can do is, so click on inspect, click on it. So this one, right click, copy, XPath, paste, paste it, right? So this is completed. So once we enter this, what I say, we just need to know whether we need to click on this button or not. How we can confirm is just enter the OTP. Uh, so you can see that I didn't enter the but click the button, so it automatically. So there is no need of having the element. But yeah, now we have the required data with us, so we can start configuring the web application. Okay, so navigate to this configuration options. Okay, configuration options, connection components. You need to go. Just go to connection components, expand the connection components, and I will just copy web app sample. Okay, so and paste it. So I'll right click on it, paste the connection component, and what I will do is web app sample. So what I see, web app GitHub, right? GitHub demo. Okay, so I will keep this as the name. Okay, control A, control C, apply. Okay, so let's look at the target settings here. So here it is, client tab is configured to Chrome. So as I'm using, I have installed Edge in my PSM, so I will use the Edge. So I'll apply it, and the next thing is uh, this client specific. Yeah, these are okay. And then next is the main thing is web form fields, right? So these are not our fields, so we will clear it. So we have copied the elements, right? So we'll just copy from here and paste it there. Okay, so we'll copy here and paste it there. So these are just the elements. Okay, for these elements there is specific action to be done on these elements, right? So for the first element, which is an username, so what we need to do, what we our CyberArk need to do, we just need to input the username from CyberArk end, right? So what as it is an input element, you need to put the curly bracket and this flower bracket, and you need to type username. Okay, so that CyberArk will enter the username. So this is an input element. So how this element should be identified by PSM, as we have copied the XPath, it should be it should search with the XPath. Okay, search by equal to XPath. Okay, and the next thing is password. Password is also an input element. So yeah, so flower bracket and password. Okay, and next, how it should be searched, it should be same as username, search by equal to XPath. Okay, and the next thing is the button. So button is not an input element, it's a click element. So so there is an element called click, button or click, whatever. So you will use button. Okay, so you need to use these brackets and search by equal to XPath. Okay, and the next thing is, so after this it clicks the button, so next come the OTP. It needs to enter the OTP. So in manual login, as we have configured it through authenticator, we can check in the authenticator and enter. But how PSM will will get to know the OTP and enter? So it should generate, right? It should generate the OTP. So as I said, now PSM now our CyberArk now supports MFA based application for PSM connectors, so we can copy that configuration here for that. Okay, so I'll just go to docs, and here's generate MFA. So this is the configuration for generating the MFA, right? So just go and just place it here. Okay, so we need to replace the value with here, value with secret, MFA secret. Okay, it differ where you can get it differs on the application to application, but for GitHub, so I can just straight away go to profile settings, and I'll go to password and authentication. What I will do in the password and authentication, I'll choose the authenticator, edit. So here you can see it is asked for scan or unable to scan, you can use the setup key. So actually this setup key is called the MFA secret. So with which authenticator will use this to identify the application and generate the TOTPs. Okay, right. So this is the MFA secret for this application at that time. So normally what we will do, we'll scan with authenticator, but PSM needs the MFA secret. So code we need to place it on that command. Okay, so we'll copy this and we'll paste it in the that value. Okay, so we'll place it in here, right? So this is our secret. Okay, so this is our MFA secret. So we have placed it the MFA secret, and so once we given this MFA secret, we have in manual way, so we have configured the authenticator. So authenticator is now generates the OTP. So how this OTP, the output of this an OTP, so how we need to enter in this element is just use the placeholder. So you can copy it from the CyberArk docs. So you can go here for generating MFA. So here you can see the placeholder. Okay, this one MFA code, copy this, go to the PWA page, and paste it here. And how this element should be searched, it should be same as others XPath. Okay, yeah, and we will add an validation so that PSM has launched successfully the web application or not. So validation is nothing but it just validating validating that PSM has successfully launched the application. How that can be done? So just if we go to the home page of our GitHub, so if we just go to home page of our GitHub, so let's go to home page. If we go to home page, so you can see this is the page we'll get after launching, after logging in, right, after entering the OTP. Okay, so so this is the main page. So this is the total main page which we get after entering the OTP. So how the validation work is, we'll just give in the web form fields any text which is on the main page and ask PSM to detect it. So I'm just copying this text, and placing it in. So I'll configure an element. So that is just a text. So we are informing PSM to detect this text on the main page, so that if it detects that text, so that our PSM web application has been successfully launched. So is it an input? So what is it? It's a validation, right? So we should use this validation. And the next, how it should search? It should search by text. Okay. So yeah. So now this has been completed. Most of the part of our web application is completed. We just apply it. And next thing is, and one thing I need to tell you is, so run validation is set to yes, so that we have our validations have been configured. And next thing is, I will just add one parameter. So this is just for your debugging purposes. If any issues with your web connector, you can trace the web application lively. Okay, enable trace. Okay, so I will show what's the difference when it is enabled and disabled. Okay, so first let us enable it. Okay, so I'm saving this configuration. So I'll just restart our PSM. So what I will do is just restart the PSM. Okay, PSM is restarted. Our configurations are now refreshed, so that every configuration we set is updated to the policies file. Yeah, so now what we need to do is, actually we need to add the uh, connector to the platform, right? So we just go to platform, delete that platform, and manage connectors, GitHub, right? So PSM web app GitHub demo, right? So we'll disassociate this, right? Save it. Okay, so I will restart my PSM. So yeah, I will restart my PSM in the background. So it is restarted. So what I will do, I will so let's launch the, yeah, so let's launch the connection component and see whether it is working fine or not. Okay, so just click on it and click on connect, right? So you can see that the application has been launched successfully, right? So yeah, so the validation has been passed and the PSM application is launched successfully. So yeah, so we have successfully created a PSM for web application, configured it and launched it successfully. And one thing as I said, right, so we have added an extra parameter called enable trace while we are creating the this connection component, right? So I have set it to no initially, and it is recommended to only keep enable it when we are troubleshooting, but currently it is in disable state. So I'll just for showing the difference when it is enabled and disabled. So as it is disabled now, so if I enable, what's the difference you can see. Okay, so I will just click yes and apply it, and okay, and and I will restart my PSM service. And before that, while entering the web form fields, I just didn't say you the logon URL, right? So logon URL, in the logon URL, github.com is we'll get it from the address field, and the remaining thing is static one. We can just type it normally. So the address field is we are taking it from the address field of the account object. Okay, so this is a dynamic parameter. So it is recommended to have a dynamic parameters in the URL than having a static URL. Okay, so this is somehow this is one thing you need to take a note of. Okay, and yeah, so our main interest now is, so we launched successfully, but I just need to explain you this enable trace. What's the difference when we enable this, right? So yeah, I have enabled it. So I will just restart. I have restarted the PSM service. Let's launch the application. Yeah, so now let's launch the application and see the difference. So I have restarted this. So the configuration will also refresh. So let us see how it will be. User profile. Yeah, this is not related to our PSM web application. That's fine. So you can see here, I think you have observed it or not, because it went fastly. I'll show you again. Okay, so yeah, let me show you it again. So let's see. So I'm just clicking on connect and see. So if you see, the login sequence is shown to us now without enabling trace. See here, the username, password, and all these things which is being entered by the PSM, it is shown to us, right? So when we disable the trace, it is done it in the background, so you can't see that, right? So that's the difference. So this enabling trace will only be useful when you are configuring and having any error at any stage, so you can troubleshoot and see where it is actually happening, right? So that's how it works. Yeah, so yeah, so by this, and so we have configured the web application successfully, created the connection component and launched it through CyberArk. So this is the conclusion of the video, and if there are any queries, and just put it in the comments of my channel, so I'll answer your questions surely. And one thing is, next video I'm coming up with a CPM plugin for web applications, so we can rotate, verify, and password for that. And yeah, so for this connector there are additional options as well, putting conditions in the web form fields. So that is just basic, you can learn it from the documents itself. So this is all what I can explain from this video. So if you have any queries, you can comment it down, and yeah, so thank you.